Herzlich willkommen zum Gespräch über unseren diesjährigen Eröffnungsfilm The Young and Prodigious T.S. Spivet. Bitte begrüßen Sie ganz herzlich den Regisseur und Co-Autor des Films Jean-Pierre Jeunet und seinen Hauptdarsteller Catlett. Hier sind sie.
Thank you for coming. I came because they told me you will have some free drinks. I would like to speak today about Schumacher, Seville 82, if you remember. Football game, Seville, Schumacher. We have to speak about that this afternoon. No, forget it.
Okay, who has seen the film of you? That's okay. Quite a few.
And I am curious to know, Delicatessen, who saw Delicatessen? Oh, not bad. Okay. The City of Lost Children, not bad. Alien Resurrection, and Amélie, of course. Very Long Engagement. Oh, you have to make an effort. I love this film, Very Long Engagement. And Micmac. Oh, I'm surprised. Very Long Engagement is the less... you have to see it. It's a good film about the First World War. It's a romantic story. No, it's a good film. I love it.
I don't know the book on which this film is based.
I should bring it. Nobody has the book.
And after I saw the film, I want to read it. But perhaps you could talk a little bit about the book, what fascinated you about the book, and how you changed it, how you adapted it into the film.
When I read the book, I saw the opportunity in first to make an emotional story, because some people said all my films are pretty quirky. The English says that, quirky, you know, cartoon, comics, but not so much emotional. And this one was a real emotional story, because there is a story of a guilt because he's supposed to have a responsibility about the death of his little brother in the film. I don't want to spoil here. And on the other hand, it was an opportunity to shoot in English, because after 2 or 3 French movies, it was great to change, and also to shoot in the nature, because it was almost the first time for me. In Very Long Engagement, I shot the Brittany a little bit and the battlefield during the First World War, but it wasn't the same thing. And for this one, it was the opportunity to shoot the big American landscape. And also another opportunity to shoot in 3D, because the book is very special. It's full of sketches on the sides of the pages, supposed to be made by T.S. Spivet. I saw immediately something important. It's a film with a kid, and it's always tricky. It's tricky because you can shoot 6 or 7 hours per day. You have the limit. It's always a problem. It's always scaring, because you have to find a kid to have the responsibility about 25 million euro on the shoulder. And so it was scary, but at the end, you know, we found Kyle, where we speak about that later. So, and about the book, I was very close to Ref Larson. We exchanged maybe 100 word email, and I was a little bit concerned. I thought, does he want to be involved in the writing process? So I told him, you are the father of the story. I am the teacher. Now your kid is going to go at school. You can stay in the bottom of the classroom. And he understood. He didn't want to. But I sent him the English version to have his opinion. He gave me some advices, and I use it. And when he saw the film, he is in the film, in the audience during the speech. He plays a little role. And he said, I like almost everything. And it was a big compliment, because imagine, he is the author, and suddenly it's a film. I told him the story. But I stay very close to the book, because it's so full of ideas. Even I got rid of some ideas too close to Amélie. And I couldn't avoid to put my own stuff. You will see in the film. You will recognize the stupid humor.
Okay, so how old is T.S. Spivet in the book?
In the book, I think he's 12. 12,
11, 12.
11, yeah. And Kyle was 9. When I saw him on internet, because previously I saw maybe 2,000 kids, not myself, but we saw 2,000. We made a casting in London, New York, Chicago, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Vancouver. It was very difficult, very depressing. I remember I asked the casting director, I said, we don't find a kid, but why we don't see number 2 and number 3 for Hugo Cabret? And they told me, you saw them. And I was very depressed. And suddenly by Skype, I saw him. He was a casting director from New York. I saw him, I thought he's too young, too little. He's not T.S. Spivet. But he had something special. And my wife is American from San Francisco, and I asked her, and she said, he's amazing, you. So we decided to make a Skype. And on Skype, he said, I am T.S. Spivet, I am a scientist, I am able to speak in Chinese, Russian, French, Spanish, and I am able to cry on command, and he did. And I am martial art champion, world champion, under 7. And I thought, oh, he is a liar, or he is amazing. And during the process, I thought, probably he will keep 15%, it will be better during the shooting, 15%. And he was better 60%.
So now, Kyle, can you tell us the same story from your point of view?
You mean about T.S. Spivet, or?
I mean about the process, how he found you, and you can tell us about how excited you were before this Skype conference with him. How much you prepared for it?
I really liked the script because when I read it, I noticed a few things that I had done before, like T.S. Spivet, he did an experiment for Discover magazine about how to drop an egg from an Empire State Building. And I had done something similar in school a year before.
Speak very distinctly because we are not English.
Okay.
If I don't understand you, they don't understand you.
I had the same principle with a parachute. Only difference was the bottom. I used a Chinese container and bubble wrapping and some rocks and pens to stabilize it. And as the perpetual motion machine, T.S. Spivet, he had like a giant wheel with started out as an arrow, and then it went bigger, like around. I had done the exact same thing, only with a skateboard wheel, and I had it attached to like little stands and a piece of steel through the middle to help it spin. And once you spin it, the magnets are attracted to the piece of steel here, and then they keep on going, and it could last for a long time.
He can speak about technique the whole afternoon. I prefer to warn you. So on the set, he wanted to understand everything about the techniques, the lighting, the camera, everything. And he loved so much the technical details. When he saw, of course, you didn't see the film, he has a suitcase with a lot of gadgets. He kept his gadget on his pocket until the last moment of the shooting. He played with the gadget. We got crazy. Kyle, be concentrated. Action, boop, immediately the gadget disappears. Kids are very good to be concentrated at the last moment. It's.
So, but had you been acting before?
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about that. How that.
You mean like the movies I've done before, or before I did some TV shows, As the World Turns, Mercy. I did some shorts. I did a Russian short film. It was in Russian language. It was called The Pale Settlement. It was a very
So you do speak Russian?
Yes, fluently.
Okay. So I was wondering when I saw that scene in the movie, and it was very convincing. So that's why.
His mother is Russian. It's an explanation.
Okay, that explains it. But how lucky for the movie? I mean,
yeah, I took advantage about that. I put a small scene. He speaks in Russian with a guard. It's funny. Where do you come from? Chernobyl.
And what about the sign language?
I have learned a little bit of sign language before.
Before or for the film?
Before and for.
If you were a director, if you had to direct this film in place of Jean-Pierre, what you will do? What you will change about something
Be careful, Kyle.
I don't know if everybody understood the question or not. He asked, if you were a director and saw the film, what would you change?
I am waiting.
I think I would say that this is the best film. And Jean-Pierre is the best director. Jean-Pierre is the best director I've ever met or worked with. He's very funny.
How many directors you met?
And he's very creative. He's very open. He's very open with the script. He's not married to the script like most directors I know.
It was very easy to direct him because, you know, it's a question of instinct. Sometimes the only help I needed sometimes, he started to act too much. And I just had to say, Kyle, I see you acting. I see Kyle. I am not interested about Kyle. I want to see Spivet. And just think about Spivet, about the scene, and it will be enough. I will see on your eyes the emotion. He said, okay. And he did. It was the only recipe with him.
Oh, no, I have like 4. Okay, who was first? I don't know. So you go first.
When you work on a new script, what role does sound design play in your imagination?
The sound design? I would say everything is important. The sound, the music, the editing, the production design. A lot of French films love only the text, the script, and actors. And some directors, they say that. I don't care about the production design. I am just preoccupied about actors. And I think they should make theater play, because the cinema, it's like a box, like a toy. You know, Orson Welles used to say it's like an electric train. And I love to play. For me, it's like a mechano. I would like to build the most beautiful film with everything in the box, the production design, the costumes, the editing, the music. So the sound is very important as well. And sometimes when I design the storyboard, I put the sound, you know, like in a comic strip. So we love and we spend a lot of time for the sound, for the mixing. And I worked all the time with the same family, because it's very important for me as well. The only quality I recognize for a human being is the possibility to build. It can be the stadium. I visited the beautiful stadium in Munich. It's a masterpiece. It's a stadium, a bridge, or a film, or a painting to build, to make, to create. I have some reproaches in France. Oh, he does all the time the same thing, And the worst in France, it's aesthetic, and it's an insult. Because the French cinema loves realism. And when it's beautiful, it's not hard for them. When it's French, when it's David Lynch, Wes Anderson, it's a masterpiece. But when it's French, it's just crap. And one day I did a joke with a French journalist. I said, I will make an effort for the next one. I will make something ugly. And Cahiers du Cinéma, they will love it. And she wrote, the director made his confession, he will make an effort. She believed me. So I love to work with my crew because we share the same values, the well-done work, the work well done. And it's important for me. And for some critics in France now, it's tacky because the art has to be conceptual. And we are very close to the contemporary art, you know. And it's finished with the white painting. And for us, I appreciate the well-done work. Maybe I'm old, I don't know.
Yes, please.
I just wanted to know how do you get your ideas? Are there any artists or works that inspire you? What's the creative process you draw?
At the beginning, you have so many. She asked me about influences and where the inspiration come from. At the beginning, of course, you have so many things you love. With Marc Caro, when we made Delicatessen, it was the slapstick, the comic strip, the cartoons, the modern dance, maybe, so many things. And you put everything in your mixer, you have a new juice, and someone is going to steal your juice to mix with another one. You don't invent anything. You have just have inspirations. after a while, you use everything, you have to find new subject. And I am in pain because I need to be in love with everything I shoot. And it's a problem because after 7 movies, maybe I shot everything I love, except football maybe. But it's not easy to shoot a feature about football. So it's a problem. In T.S. Spivet, I love American landscape, I love trains, I love the ranch, the cowboy spirit, so it was great. Now I have to find something else.
Before we close this very, very lively and interesting talk, I have one more question for Kyle. When the film ends, or after the film ends, what do you think will happen to T.S. and did you ever think about that, how his life will turn out to be?
I think that his life will turn out, I think he'll become an amazing inventor. And I think he'll be known for a very long time.
Okay, so will there be a second part of the adventures of T.S. Spivet, either as a novel or a film? What do you think?
A sequel?
I don't know.
What do you want to be later? Tell them.
I want to be an actor, scientist, and president.
And president.
We wish you all the luck for that, Kyle.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kyle Catlett and Jean-Pierre Jeunet.